Hey guys, Avar here. I see a lot of people having trouble killing Turnfighters, even starting from a good position. If you find yourself losing fights from an advantageous spot and don't understand what you can do about it, then this video is for you. In today's video, I'm sharing my preferred technique for taking out slower Spitfires and Zeros. I call this a sideways energy trap. This works against any aircraft as long as you have enough speed, but I like to use it on enemies that turn better than me, because if they know that they can't win the dogfight, they will usually run away rather than stick it out long enough to stall. And quick caveat, you shouldn't use this if there's another enemy at your altitude nearby, because you will make yourself an easy target for a third party and get yourself killed. Anyway, let's get started. There's a Spitfire right in front of me. I can see from his contrail that he's done a 180-degree turn, which will drain energy no matter what plane you're flying. And look at my speed gauge. I'm coming in fast and diving towards him, so I'm confident that I'm much faster than he is. I could take the head-on, but then I might get damaged, and I have a better idea. I break away from him starting at about 2.5 kilometers in the head-on. I need enough horizontal separation here that he feels close enough to hit me, but he won't be able to. And now he's coming at me from the left, and that's why it's called a sideways energy trap. And notice that as I start going up, I don't go too steep, and I do tap my negative pitch key to slow down my turn so that I don't turn too hard and end up right in front of him. So here he is, he's 0.6 beneath me, but he doesn't have the nose authority to get towards me. And so the moment that I see him stalling and not able to control his nose anymore, I'm going to drop on top of him with the landing flaps, and then I have the easiest shot on him in the world. So the severe damage doesn't end up being much right now, but it does kill his engine, and that leads to him dying in the game afterwards. So let's watch that in replay. He's making 370 kilometers an hour briefly, and then when he makes his 180-degree turn towards me and comes out doing 350, he's at a lower altitude than he started. So when I start this energy trap, I'm going twice as fast as he is. And he'll drop another 25 kilometers an hour pulling in for me as well, but the real speed bleed starts when he begins going up for me. So let's watch him in the turn here. So here he comes at me, and now I start my oblique turn upwards. And now, rather than just going down by 25 here, 25 there, his speed will drop like a stone, because the Spitfire F Mark 9, compared to the later Spitfires, that thing has practically a lawnmower engine. So he's about to completely stall himself out. Look how slow he is on the speed gauge in the replay. And now he's going to stall out. And a big part of this trap is learning to pull in at the right time, because if you turn too early, then you will spoil your shot, and you have the potential for them to be on your 6 as you're going quite slowly and as they're quite close. So do be careful to come down at the correct time. So let's look at another example. So like I said, stalling someone out does not mean going straight up or looping directly over them most of the time, because you will run out of speed and die, or give them room to run away, or give yourself a very awkward shot coming down. So this Spitfire comes at me from below, and I'm diving down onto him and do the same thing. Again, I offset to the side in the head-on, and I gave him a free shot to encourage him to stick the fight, and since I was going faster than I looked, he needs to pull much more lead than he believed, and that's why he missed his shots. And once that starts happening, that I spiraled upwards, used the flaps to go over top of him, and he was in a very bad position, and he could still salvage it if he dove out and set up a reversal, but instead he pitched in and it was game over. Now that's all well and good, but what happens if you're unfortunate enough to miss the first pass? This does happen, so let's take a look. I make an early pass on the Spitfire and whiff the first shot. Now a lot of people would panic here after missing and dive straight to the deck, or worse, start turning with the guy, but that will get you killed. So instead, I turn away from him and enter a shallow climb, resetting my position. And see this 264 in front of me? Don't be tempted to go after a lower target after missing the pass, especially if you have something like a spin on your 6 that will get you stuck below him, and it's simply a losing situation. So now I've recovered some speed and altitude with my shallow climb, and I begin a gentle turn back into him. And notice he's getting closer as he cuts me off, but I know for a fact that he's going much slower than me, and now all I have to do is keep it shallow enough that he doesn't get within shooting distance. The Mark 9 Spit can stay on your 6 if you're turning within gun range, but it's fairly bad at following a climbing spiral, at least if the baiting aircraft has enough energy, and I do here. So he's about to pull into me rather than running away, and in this situation, what the Spitfire should do is utilize a defensive dive or run away and create horizontal separation. But by pulling in directly underneath me, even if I miss this pass, I can easily set up another shot. So I do blow up his rudder. His rudder is going to fall off. He'll go into a flat spin there in a second, and it is a done deal. Now, do be careful against later Spitfires such as the LF Mark 9. This trick works on Spits that have a mediocre power to weight ratio, but the LF Mark 9, the 5.7 Griffin Spitfires, and the Mark 22 and 24 at 6.7 will be able to helicopter into you. because compared to the LF Mark 9, the low-tiered Spits are equipped with a 24 horsepower Briggs & Stratton lawnmower engine making angry noises in the general direction of the enemy. So when fighting higher-tiered Spits, make sure the speed differential is high enough through observation. In a position like the ones I've shown you, where I saw the enemy pull a 180 or start climbing up towards me, I'm confident that I have enough to pull off that maneuver. When you see a Spit that just came out of a climb, or one that's done a 180-degree turn, and you're going fast, the sideways energy trap is a maneuver to try. Here's one more trick that will be helpful. If you have a Spit coming towards you at equal altitude, and you can't do a stall trap, try spraying early in the head-on. Spitfire pilots don't like to commit to a head-on, they'd rather get you into an easy turn fight, so a lot of them dodge too early, and then you can hose them down if your aim is good enough, just like right here. This is something to keep in mind because you will not always have energy advantage over these Spitfires, and that's another way that you can deal with them. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you're able to use these tips in ARB to improve your game, so tell me how it goes in the comments. I've linked my Discord server in the description so you can join my community. Have fun, and I'll catch you in the next video.